Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. So, we're here
Welcome
again.
back.
We act like we're just are we recording for the first time? No, this is the second recording in an hour, so
It makes it nice.
we're just playing it off like, you're like, wait, you're wearing the same clothes in the last one you did. That yeah, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. And you're wearing the same clothes. What's happened? Well, that's what's happening.
We just don't feel like showering and stuff. It's kind of it takes too much time. I
Like
mean,
a
who has time
week,
for that this day and age?
yeah, a week later, we're still, wearing the showing up in the same clothes at the same day. Yeah, no,
Nice.
funny. And by the way, we're in the same color palette. And Bev and I haven't talked to each other in a couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
And we still got it, girl. We still got
Yeah.
it. We're still connected.
I sit down and I look close to the screen. I'm like, what color are you wearing right now? And she tells me, I'm like, that's the same color I'm wearing with black on it. So,
Yeah,
here
yeah.
we are.
Here we are. We still got it. It's great.
That's
Love
right.
it. It's that connection.
That's right.
What else are we going to talk about?
Well, I was wanting to bring up, so in the last video, we talked about different yoga or meditation techniques, and it was I rest yoga nidra, and you can find it on YouTube. So I just tell people to explore. I've never heard about this stuff, but someone had dropped off a bunch of magazines at my office, and they're from 2011. They're spirituality and health. And it's like, I thought, well, I'm going to, before someone takes them and cuts them all up, to use them as a vision board or whatever they're going to do with it. I wanted to check them out. And so I started looking at some of the articles in there and started talking about some of this stuff. And it's just fascinating to me. These are from 2011, and here we are in 2025 now. And it's some of it's stuff that's talking about plant medicine, therapies, DMT, just the benefits of helping people get past death, just being afraid to die, like having cancer and they're at their last, they're at their ends. And then they're so worried about it and stuff. And then being able to go through some of this therapy and being able to just kind of let go peacefully and not hold on to this out of fear of the unknown. Because they get to experience some of these things and know that they're never alone anyways. And then God was always right here. So it's been fascinating. So some of the stuff that I'm looking through it, and even though it's from 2011, it's so relevant to right now. And it just goes to show you the information's out there. It's everywhere. And it's kind of whatever you want to explore. And if you don't really know, you got a universal team that you can't see, it's your angels and your guides and your guardian angel and God and Jesus and all these ascended masters and you know all these things, these beings, this energy that's around us that we could ask for that guidance. What's really going to float my boat? Because what works for me isn't gonna work for somebody else. And so it's asking those kind of questions, and that's kind of where I've been at lately. It's just really, like I said, we've been talking about different things in the last video, but talking about different things in the times that we're in right now. And I feel like if we thought we were letting go of karmic stuff before, we're seeing the closure of karmic stuff now. This is that year we're going to see closure. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this because I know that it's true because I'm recognizing it within myself. And then when I start getting kind of wrapped up in behaviors of other people and how I think that things should be done, like how I would if I had children these days, how I would raise those children is going to be totally different than the way I raised my own kids. Because all I had was that karmic energy of the way that my mom raised me. My mom, my dad, and my birth dad, and my dad that raised me. That's all I had. So, and then my mom only had what she had growing up too. And she also had siblings that were raising her too. So it's like all this stuff we can continue to be blissfully ignorant to our behaviors, or we can start looking at them because there's things that I do when I show up and I don't really care for that. I haven't cared for those kind of behaviors. And instead of beating yourself up afterwards, just like take note, like, I don't really like the way that feels right now. Like, but we're so hard. We can be so hard on ourselves. And I'm learning to do not to do the opposite of that, not be hard on myself, to look at it like you were saying in the last video, to look at it from a space of almost like a third party witnessing yourself behaving, in this certain environment and seeing how that you're responding to things. And well, I didn't really care for that so much. And it's the same thing if someone else shows up to you and they're talking to you a certain way. It's not, don't get so caught up in the way they're talking to you and everything else. Pay attention to the energies and how does that make you feel? And then how have I made someone else feel that way? Because it's not something that we have to continue carrying on. It's just, we're not prisoners to this. We're not victims to this, although I do see my victim come out on occasions. Honestly, I mean, it comes out and then I recognize, oh, I'm being a victim again. And then someone will tell me, and that's why it's so great and so empowering to have people in your lives that are empowering people they like to vibe on a high flying disc most of the time, for you to be able to express yourself and talk to them about things, because you'll not be criticized, but you'll be given different perspectives. And those perspectives can be so amazing. I could use an instance of talking to a child and, you know, the child being like, I want to hang out with you more often and all this other stuff. And then instead of it being like from a victim standpoint, my victim would say, well, God, how am I going to facilitate this? How do I facilitate this in my schedule right now? And then recognizing that it's not if the victim's not there and I step back and kind of look at things, isn't it such an honor to recognize that these children want to spend time with you? That's an honor. That's joyful. I can't remember growing up. My grandkids love to be with me. And I can't remember, I loved my grandma and my grandpa. He was cool. He was like always back, my mom's mom and dad, they were kind of always back out of the way, but I don't ever remember my grandma being super loving and nurturing. I don't remember my grandma ever coming and playing with us. You know what I mean? I don't remember any of those things. And I'm that grandma. I'm doing all those things, and not because of the fault of my own grandma, but because she was a person that was there to showcase how she knew how to behave, and I had the opportunity to change it. So breaking karmic stuff. And I know that as soon as I facilitate that change within myself, I facilitate that change inside with my kids without having to do anything. That means I'm making my kids' lives better, their kids' lives better, and everybody around me. Every time we make these shifts and we work on ourselves and we take a look at ourselves and we see what makes us tick and what do I like and what I don't like, it means everything.
I don't know what else to say about. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's just
He's
like
on a roll. I'm just gonna hold space for her right now.
it's just, I asked spirit to come through, and it's like I was not in that space when I wasn't feeling well. But and it's like it's nice to know that it's back. It didn't go anywhere. Because sometimes it feels like you're so disconnected. Like it's like, what the hell is wrong with me? It's like recognizing I had to honor it, but it's also taking the time to recognize I never wanted to go live at my grandparents' house.
Yeah.
So it's an honor. So instead of me being the victim and looking at it and being like, well, that's just shit. I got to figure out how I can get them out here every single freaking day and do all these other things when I don't even have time for myself all the time. So it's recognizing that stuff, but on the other side, it's like a positive thing. I'm like, well, there's a thing called telepathy. And I think that I don't know if you are like this, but I know there's been many times in my life that I probably have had the expectation for someone to read my mind. Honestly, whether it was picking up the house or doing something, to read your mind. And I don't think that the expectation was ridiculous. I think that we came in here and we knew how to do all that, but we were taught language. And so we started communicating with language instead of utilizing the skills of telepathy. And it's like, so I tell my grandkids, you think if you're worried or you're having a bad day or you're having something, if you think of me, I'm going to know it, period. As soon as you send that out, because I know it, because I feel it. I know when someone's talking about me, not necessarily talking about me, but I know when I'm being brought into, my energy is being brought in because my name's attached to my energy currently. And when that happens, I can feel it. And I can sometimes see see the person's face or whatever. I can do the same thing with the grandkids. And it's like, all I can do is be a benefit and help teach them, because they're helping teach me, because they know how to communicate this way still.
I'm surprised every time it happens, because not that a surprise like, oh my gosh, that happened. No, it's like, oh my God, that happened. I can't even count how many times I will pick up my phone. There's nothing going on. There's nothing. I will pick up my phone, and as I'm picking it up, I'll get a text or a call. because the other person on the other end is thinking about me. And I know somebody's thinking about me. And something says, right? That intuition says, pick up your phone. And so it's like, okay. And bing, right? Or it starts ringing. So yeah, telepathy is a thing. How, I mean, really, how often have you, and not necessarily you, because I know it happens a lot. I know it happens a lot for me. You haven't seen somebody in a long time. You're thinking about them. Oh, I wonder how that person is. Next thing you know, that day or the next day, there they are. Or they call, or you're thinking about somebody and they call you, and you're just like, it's all the same because we're connected energetically, and it happens all the freaking time.
Yeah, I'm glad you got the message.
Yeah.
It's so hilarious to me. It just cracks me up. It just cracks me up. And it seems like it's happening. It's happening all the time. Like it's almost nonstop anymore. And the more we talked about, I don't know if it was in this video or last video. Well, we did talk about listening in the last video, but the more that we're listening, you start hearing, you might be saying something and I'll hear the words in my head or the word in my head that you might be looking for. Before I would be like, oh, try to, so I can hurry up and get the answer out. Ah, I'm going to win a
Yeah.
prize. You don't win a prize.
You get a gold star because I couldn't
That's
remember.
right. Yeah, I didn't get the gold star, guys. I'm crying over here. But it's just recognizing, and it's helping build my own confidence to be able to have all these experiences, and they're happening all of the time. It's magnificent, really. It really is. It makes life fun.
Yeah, I was in my vehicle the other day, and you get through all the red light, like don't go through the red, you get all the green lights, right? So you're just cruising down the road, hitting all the green lights, and there's a space right at the front of the parking lot, and you go in, the store is busy, but the register's wide up. You just walk right up to the register, and the cashier is waiting for you. Like, and I've been asking myself, and well, asking at first, and then telling my, it was like, can it really be this easy? Can it
Yeah,
really be this easy? And now I changed, like that was short lived. I said, it really can be this easy all the time. It can be this easy. And the more I embrace that and lean into it and believe in it and have faith in it, like it's just, I'm not kidding you. I went into Walmart. It's busy. I got my stuff and I walked right up to a cashier. Nobody's in line. And there are people everywhere.
yeah,
I'm like, man, it really can be this easy. It can just be so easy. Like I just keep telling myself this because I'm loving it, because it really saves me some time. I can get right in and out.
and you're flexing your master creator muscles.
There you go.
Honestly.
I like
'Cause
that.
I've had the same experience at Walmart too. And it's like you're looking around, there's like lines of people standing all over the place, and you walk up like, do the angels like say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and drop someone in right real quick right here.
Yeah.
Ah, you pull up, you pull up, you walk up, and then you might have I had a great conversation with the gal there recently. It's even today, I went to the grocery store to get a couple of things, and I'm standing in line, and the people are behind me, and there are people in front of me. They're, waiting for the people in front of them. And she's like, well, you can go ahead of us. You only have like a few things. And I'm like, oh, that's all right. And she's like, no, you should go up ahead. And I'm waiting because there's two ladies that are up, two ladies being helped by, by the cashier. They must probably be traveling together. So there wasn't room. And then the lady started checking in these people, and they're like, oh no, can you go ahead and stop that transaction and then let her go through to the front? Like they were not taking no for an answer. But it was just, it's the second time it's happened to me in the last, 2 weeks
Nice.
that people just like, oh no, here, come on up. Why don't you go ahead of me? So freaking nice. But it's like, it's these things that are what show up for you, that show you that things are different, that show you that your energy is shifting.
Yeah.
Because it can't be that you're not in that space, and you probably wouldn't appreciate it that much anyways if you're constantly being brought through when you're in an angry or down space, because it hasn't happened for me that way. If I like to even go sit outside and meditate, and if I go sit outside and if I'm making any tones or doing anything while I'm doing my meditation, I was out there the other day and I'm meditating, have my eyes closed, and then all of a sudden I feel one dog lay down on my leg, on one of my legs, and I kind of chuckle because I'm doing it. I'm letting out a sound right at that moment. And the next thing you know, I feel another dog on my other leg, and then I feel another dog, and I just laughed about it because it was awesome because they're hanging around you because they like the energy.
Yeah.
There's a shift in the energies.
Yeah.
And all we can do, it's like if I can teach even my grandchildren, if I can teach them a way to find a way to connect by meditating, man, you hand them the world. You hand them the world because they're no longer being controlled by the circumstances, people, anything around them because they recognize it's not their stuff. It's not them.
Yeah.
Even if grandma gets mad, it's not their stuff. And so it's like, how can we teach them that? And that's why I think it's so valuable for kids to learn meditation. Now, me figuring out what meditation might be the best for kids, for at least for the grandkids that I have in my life, well, we'll figure it out. Maybe it's a minute of just taking some breaths. I don't know. I don't know yet, but we'll see what gets guided that into that direction because it just makes it more fun and it's empowering. It's
Yeah.
like you want to build up your kids, you want to build up anyone's confidence, start connecting them to themselves. And they start recognizing, wait a minute, I'm pretty badass. I'm not that bad after all. I'm not that ugly, crazy, stupid person that people thought that I was. Not that anybody thought that, because was probably those were my own thoughts at
Right.
one time or another.
Right. Yeah, what was it Deepak Chopra said if we taught one generation of kids to meditate, there would be peace.
Oh, that's awesome. That gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Like everything would just calm down. It would just shift tremendously.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's why we're in the space that we are right now, because all these new children that are coming in, they're already in that space. They're already evolved. They're the metronomes. They're the metronomes now of the world.
Yeah. Well, and then my ego, just saying, my ego saying I contributed to that. so
But we have it, and we are.
and that's what I was going to say is, we've been working on ourselves for a while. I know mine's been over 20 years and learning to bring that peace within myself and to calm myself down from having all the anger and the shame and the guilt and the criticism, the judgments and the fears and having all that in my body. And now it's the person anybody knows today is on the other end of the spectrum of what I was.
Yeah.
And so by me doing that, by Bev doing it, by anybody watching this, anybody on a journey of shifting from that the heavy emotions and storing that in the body to finally finding an avenue to release that and bring in some calmness, peace, joy, love, compassion, kindness, connection, that you are also contributing to these children coming in. Because as we learn and shift, it shifts the energy of the people around us. But also, the more people are talking about it, the younger generations are listening. And then they realize all the shit we went through in our childhood, and we're trying to heal that because we're a mess. And they're listening and they're having different perspectives than what we had when we were growing up. And so because they're changing and seeing things differently, now that's going to affect their children. So we are like a catalyst to a shift. And my ego says that's correct. I got to give credit. My ego's got to get some credit here.
Which is awesome. And it's true. I feel 100% the same.
Yeah.
Because we can come into this world with all the knowledge from there, but this is a new environment from where you just came from.
Right. So, and now because of our shift, now we're interacting with different people. So the people back in the day, we drank alcohol like it was going out of style.
Yeah.
And wild and all the things, but we're also in our pain and our suffering. So other than my husband, I don't hang out with anybody from my past because we are not a match anymore. I have a whole different circle around me, and there's only a couple people that are close to me in that circle. Everybody else is a little bit further out.
Yeah.
And because I'm interested in me, and I'm interested in the people that I allow around me.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And that's going to happen. It's going to happen that as you shift and change for a better version of yourself. I just came this inch. I'm going to sidetrack for a second. So if I get too far off, you'll have to bring me back. I've been talking for a while about being and doing better in yourself, which I still believe. But another word came up for me the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, I like that a lot. Let's just be lighter in ourselves." Those, because we know about the heavy emotions. Those heavy emotions are weighing us down like an anchor to a boat. Like we're just right. What if we just got lighter? Like it totally changes the body language. It lifts my eyebrows up anyway. It lifts your eyebrows up. Like you get a smile on your face easier. Like when you are lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really, I've been embracing, and like this has just been over the past few days that word has popped up, and I'm like, really like that. I just want to be lighter.
Yeah. I like it. Because it is a raising of the vibrational frequency, because we want to be, to me, it's like a higher vibrational frequency. And
Yeah.
in me, I want to go higher and higher and higher. And I do want to show up better than I have shown up before. I even call my mom. I'm like, okay, mom, you're there, you were here, you're a part of all this stuff too. What's the best way that we can evolve? And so it's like, no, when we ask those kind of questions, you can ask for it to come forward with grace and ease so that we can evolve through that with a lot more ease. But things are, you vibrate higher, your frequency is just higher. It's like a lot of the stuff just falls away. And I think that we're just in a space that that's good for us, a good practice for us to look at some of the stuff. But I think we're going to come into a space that we're not going to look so much we're not going to get the flashlight out to go down to the nitty gritty to find out exactly where this all came from. We're going to get to the point where what feels better? It just feels better to vibrate higher. And when you vibrate higher, the solutions are always there, right? We've talked about that. So everything's always coming to you that you need in that moment. And then now we have the opportunity to be the master creator that we came here to be.
Yeah. I'm going to embrace that more, master creator. Like I've heard the words before, and I have even talked to myself about that. Like, you're a master creator, sister, right? But I haven't heard it in a while. So I'm thinking I'm going to embrace that too.
Guess who's back?
Remind myself I am a master creator, and I've been doing quite well with it. I haven't been using the title with it, but I've been doing quite well with creation. And that's where a lot of my frustration comes from, is not in the space I'm in right now, not being able to keep up with all the blessings that are flowing to me in the creative space. So
Gotcha.
I just got through a little bit of some busyness, starting to settle down. And I just connected with somebody to help me, like with my setting up my classes and stuff. So on my calendar, on my website and all that. So I'm feeling some ease about some things. It was just a very crunched, busy, well, not busy, fulfilling time, meaning there was a lot going on, many moving pieces. And it's starting to simmer down just a little bit to where I'll have the space to bring all that not all of it, but a lot of that creativity to life, because I'll have help with it. So I know I'm going to be okay. It's all going to work out. It's all going to be good. it's good right now. It's super good right now, really.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm super excited about this year, this 2025. I think I was excited last year. I'm like feeling excited about this year.
Nice.
So, and for me to even say that, to be excited about life, that's huge. It really is. It's huge. When I think about where I was
Yeah.
years ago, not anytime recent, years ago, my old history, my old story, to say, man, I'm really excited about life. I'm really excited about what's in the making, what I'm creating, and what I'm manifesting. I'm super excited about it.
I love it.
I know, it's great.
It is great.
And then the blessing in all of that is I get to live and be an example and be a beacon of hope and light, and maybe somebody will catch on to the vibration and want to take the ride too.
Exactly.
So yeah.
The more the merrier.
Right. And then the more the merrier, and the more we do it, the more we're affecting the younger generations or other generations. And so we just keep moving forward.
It's true. Whoop, whoop.
Happy dance, happy dance. All right, friends. I think we're settling down. It's a little bit later at night. Been going all day. And I'm going to go eat dinner. So,
Nice.
so if you've been hanging out with us, listening to us, thank you for your time and energy. This time you can't get back. So we appreciate you taking your time to hang out with us, and hopefully getting some benefit from our conversations. Also just know that other people want to hear these conversations too. So either be resourceful and share our content with the links, or connect us, or have the conversations yourself. Because there are people, believe it or not, there are people desiring these types of conversations. They don't know who to talk to.
It's true.
They're just not in their circle. So have the conversations. And if you want to be resourceful, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict. Did I miss anything? I don't know. Anyway, we're kind of like all over the place. It's like our energy. Our energy is everywhere. No, I know. I like had to be all dramatic about it.
We're listening.
We are connected.
That's right. Telepathically. So just keep it to your. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Be careful about what you're thinking about me about. Just saying. I'm gonna know.
Yeah. On that note, be aware of what you are thinking about anybody.
Yeah,
and if you're not putting out something good and positive into the world, then maybe rethink what you're thinking.
Yeah. Thoughts, words, and emotions matter. It's all energy. So whatever's going on in your container, you're projecting that out, and just watch what you're attracting because of it.
100%. You master creator, you.
Master creator. I was just saying too. I was like, you master creator.
That's right.
All right, friends. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we will catch you next time.
Have a good one.